What's up, my wizards? It's Dev from SBMTG down there on the youtube.com. We like magic, and today I got some Wednesday morning Kaladesh spoilers for you. Now, we didn't see a lot of stuff, but we did see the rest of the puzzle knot cycle. We saw another Gearhulk, and we saw something that people say might see actual vintage play. We don't see that too often. So let's take a look at everything. Here's that vintage playable instant, maybe. This is Paradoxical Outcome. It's 4 mana, 3 generic and a blue for an instant. Return any number of target non-land, non-token permanents you control to their owner's hands. Draw a card for each card returned to your hand this way. Well, the obvious thing, at least in standard, and some people are saying modern, I'm not sure, is that this will save all your creatures from mass removal. They try to cast a sweeper, cast this, and you bounce them all to your hand and draw a bunch of cards. Add instant speed often on their turn, and remember, you don't have to discard down to 7 until the end of your turn, so you'll keep that full grip all the way through their turn and your whole next turn until the end. So that seems kind of good. Save all your guys from mass removal, draw a bunch of cards. That doesn't seem terrible as sort of a sideboard application, but what I've seen a lot of people talk about with this card so far is vintage play, actual fauche's vintage play in a deck that, you know, plays a lot of mana rocks. You play Moxen, you play Sol Ring, you play Grim Monolith perhaps, and you just return them all to your hand and then play them immediately again. This will not only increase storm count in decks that want to play storm, and those decks already have Hercule's Recall, you know, but this will draw you a bunch of cards and let you keep storming off like that. Sure, it costs 2 more mana than Recall, but drawing the cards is going to be a very, very important part of this thing right here. So I could see it being played that way, although I'm not really sure that it beats out the card that already does that for cheaper. That being said, drawing cards is one of the best things that you can do in a game of Magic. So it wouldn't surprise me if you saw this in Vintage, you know, play it, pick up all your rocks, put them right back down, and draw a bunch of cards in the meantime. So that also doesn't seem horrible. We'll have to wait and see what this does. As previously mentioned, we saw the rest of the puzzle knot cycle today. Well, after we saw the green one, we were thinking that these would be really, really impressive, but honestly, they don't, at least to me, look very good. Cogworker's puzzle knot doesn't look too bad, neither does Metal Spinners. I think those are two of the best ones, and I do kind of like that the blue one gives you energy. The red one I'm really not a huge fan of, to be honest with you. But these look at least okay in limited environments. I think the green one might be playable in very specific decks. And like I said, I kind of like the black one and the white one a little bit better than the blue and the red. But overall, I'm not really sure how much significance these are going to have ultimately. Here's Aetherflux Reservoir. It's 4 mana for a rare artifact. Whenever you cast a spell, you gain 1 life for each spell you've cast this turn, and you can pay 50 life to have Aetherflux Reservoir deal 50 damage to a creature or a player. Well, this screams Commander right here. You know, if you gain 11 life, you can kill somebody. Basically, is how that works. It's not, you know, scaled for what format you're playing. Some are like that. You know, depending on your starting life total, it will be different. This card is not, though. If you can pay 50 life, you basically get to take a guy out of the game, which isn't terrible. And some people are like talking about this in standard. I don't know. I mean, right now you'd rather play Felidar Sovereign. It's in Battle for Zendikar. It'll just win you the game at 40 life. So there's that. But this, I'm not sure how much play this guy's going to ever see in standard. Really, I'm not. But in Commander, it's entirely possible. I mean, it's obviously very possible in Commander, although I don't know, even if you can take a guy out, if you yourself want to pay 50 life. Next here is Bristling Hydra. That's 4 mana, 2 generic and 2 green for a 4/3 Hydra with, when it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy counters. Now you can pay 3 energy counters, convenience is nice, to put a +1/+1 counter on Bristling Hydra, and it gains hexproof until end of turn. Now, hexproof is usually a very annoying and unbalanced ability in Standard, so I like the steps they've taken to balance it here. You know, it doesn't just always sort of statically have hexproof and your opponent has to get around it somehow. You actually have to have the 3 and you can activate it and give it hexproof. So that's good. And creatures that can gain hexproof or that just have hexproof are often very, very good in the Standard format. This I'm not 100 on, honestly. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm not sure about it. It looks really good in like a mid-range shell, but it has to find a home, you know. We'll see how hard that is for it. And, you know, people are saying the home for it is probably the energy aggro deck, the green-red energy aggro thing. But I'm not sure that deck wants to play a bunch of 4-drops. It might play a couple copies of this, but it looks like that deck's going to try and be very, very low to the ground, and I'm really hoping that it gets 1-drops. I want to go the other direction as far as seeing cards for that deck. I don't think it wants 4-drops. I think it wants 1-drops and 2-drops. So that deck looks so low to the ground, sort of similar to the White Humans deck that plays a bunch of 1-drops, a few 2-drops, and not much else, you know. This deck looks a bit like it wants to be similarly fast to that deck. And if it does, then I'm not sure it fits 4-drops. But this could either go in that, it's entirely possible, or it could go in a more mid-range shell. So a lot of different applications for this card, and I want to say we'll see it somewhere, but at the end of the day, I'm just not completely sure. I'm looking like 70% on this thing. Let me know how you feel. And the last card of the day so far is Noxious Gearhulk, the black Gearhulk. This one costs 6, like the blue one. It's 4 generic and 2 black for a 5/4 artifact creature construct with menace. And it has, when Noxious Gearhulk enters the battlefield, you may destroy another target creature. If a creature is destroyed this way, you gain life equal to its toughness. Well, a couple people called this. We were all trying to figure out what the black Gearhulk specifically would do. That's the one a lot of people have been talking about. Some people were like, you know, it probably reanimates. I was hoping for a tutor effect, but a Necrotal kind of effect is also very, very good, and I like that there's no restriction on it. Just destroy another target creature, you know, not non-black, not non-artifact, no restriction at all. And that's pretty good. I also like the life gain clause on it too. Although I don't think this is anywhere near as good as the blue Gearhulk or the white Gearhulk. I'll put it in third. It's like blue, white are very, very close, honestly. I'll say blue and then white, and then black and then green. We still haven't seen the red one, but I think the red one's going to be Combustive Gearhulk, if I've heard that right. And that's probably going to be some form of direct damage. So, and that would be the laziest and easiest thing they could do. They'll probably do it. But the black one looks at least borderline playable, although not as playable as the blue or white ones, definitely. But in Limited, you play this every single time. It's a game-winning bomb. Hey, everybody, they just spoiled a card. I actually just finished recording, came over here to load it into my computer, and refreshed the page on Mythic Spoiler, and there's a new thing. It's called Shrewd Negotiation. This is 4 generic and blue for a sorcery. Exchange control of target artifact you control and target artifact or creature you don't control. So you can trade an artifact for an artifact, or you can trade an artifact for a creature. There's a use for Puzzle Knots right there. You know, you play them on turn 2, they enter the battlefield and do something for you. And then on turn 5, in Limited at least, probably in Sealed, you can Shrewd Negotiation and trade that Puzzle Knot that doesn't really do much now. For an actual, honest-to-God creature, or a really good artifact, too. So, in Limited, this looks really, actually, super good. I mean, it's like, technically better than Switcheroo in a way. Oh, hey, Ziggy. Here's Ziggy, everybody. Being really sweet. Hey, did you look back at the camera and just want to say hi? But anyway, I don't see this card being like extremely good in constructed play. It costs an awful lot. Although these sort of switcheroo effects are always nice to have, but again, I'm not really sure about constructed play, but in Limited, these are always super duper annoying cards. That's all the spoilers, at least for today. I do get a feeling that there's going to be more spoilers before the day is out here. So we might be back with you a little bit later on tonight. Subscribe so you get that content when I put it out. And all the rest of the Kaladesh spoilers, and all the deck techs, and the top 10 lists, and all the stuff that we're doing. We got a lot of content planned here. And let me know what I'm missing here. Comment, you know, am I missing something with the spell knot cycle? Or the puzzle knot cycle? Do they look a little bit better maybe than I'm giving them credit for? Is the black Gearhulk slightly better than I'm giving it credit for? Could see standard play, but I'm not. 6 mana is a lot. Really a lot. Is that blue card that we previewed first? What is the name of that thing? Paradoxical Outcome. Is that really good, or is it just going to be total jank and all talk of it and all buzz about it will die down when the set comes out? I'm really interested in what you want to know about these. We didn't see much today, but what we did see can generate some conversation. So talk to me in the comments section, and I will see you guys later. My name is Deb from SBMTG. Thanks for watching, my wizards.
Yo, I'm sorting through some heinous haters like a pooper scooper. I'm just trying to take my life like a Koopa Trooper. I'm Double Mario, that mean I'm super. And I'm freaking dangerous like a Chupa Cabre. Got them all day like a Kanye, but I'm way better getting cheddar in Monterey. But Jack, you don't know, man. You got the show, man. You want roast beef? Well, I'm Arby's.